So today we're going to talk about rest. We're going to talk first of all about why rest is important. And yes, I have a script over here, but I'm kind of an unscripted person, but then I get chatty, so I will try to stick to it. Hi, I'm Kim. I'm an almost 60-year-old guinea pig trying to improve my mental health. I also am about to start my second year in grad school to become a therapist. So it's Mental Health Month in May, and I'm going to talk about some things that I've been working on, learning, studying, and maybe they'll be helpful. So here's what my life looks like right now. I am a nanny to 4 kids. One of them is a 2-year-old with some medical needs, so busy, very physical job. That's my paid job. I have an unpaid job, adult psych hospital, where I'm doing my internship about 18 to 20 hours a week. And isn't this a nice microphone? And then I'm in school full time. So rest is few and far between, but I'm going to tell you what I've learned about it and what I'm doing during those super busy times to try to get rest. And again, I'm a guinea pig. I'm not a guru. I'm not a licensed therapist yet. This is just a person on the internet that's sharing with you what I've learned about rest and why it's so important. So, why is rest important? Well, I used to believe that you had to earn rest, right? When your list was done, then you could rest. Newsflash, it's not ever done. Everything is never done on an hourly, daily, weekly, monthly, lifetime basis. There's always more to do. Um, Rest shouldn't have to be earned. It is something that our bodies need, our minds need, and it's just part of it's like eating, drinking, sleeping. We need to rest. I've had to learn that it's not a reward at the end of productivity, it's what allows me to keep going. I still battle the fear that, oopsie, if I rest, I'm going to get further behind. So I'm almost 60. I, as my mother would say, don't have a pot to pee in or a window to throw it out of. I mean, that's not 100% true, but I'm kind of pretty much starting over. And before I started over, I struggled continually as a single mom. And before that, I was married to a narcissist. And then before that, I was the child of 2 alcoholics. So um, I'm behind, quote unquote. I'm working on that piece of it as well. But if I rest and I don't do the lists and the things that I need to do, then I'll fall further behind, especially for my age. What I actually have come to believe and see for myself is that when I rest, I come back clearer, sharper, and more present than when I was exhausted and burnt out and all of the things. So a lot of times I will work 10 to 14, 13, I think is my longest days in a row without a day off. And these are full days, like 8, 10, 12-hour days. And I am an empty nester. I don't know how people do this with kids, but also I'm a single person. So I work almost full time. Like I said, I work at the hospital. I have to get groceries. I have to pay my bills. I have to sleep and shower. And I'm also in school full time. So I have 2 days off this weekend. And can I tell you, I haven't had 2 days off where I didn't have to be somewhere, like out of town. My daughter's having a baby shower, or not have like tons of homework to catch up on since January when I started this internship. It is now May 3rd or 4th. I think it's the 4th. So having 2 days off in a row has been, I mean, I feel like I'm 25 again. It's just, I can't tell you what it's done for me physically, mentally, so I can feel myself coming back to life. So rest is a powerful way to recharge so that I can be productive again. It may give me the feeling that I'm falling further behind, but it's almost like I have to spend time resting to then have the energy to push more. In our capitalistic society, we've kind of been taught that if you're resting, you're lazy, or it's an indulgence to rest. The cost of resting, though, is huge. It can be lots of physical things, which we're going to get into in a minute. But we don't earn rest by suffering first. It's something we need. Just like we need water, we need Diet Coke, we need food, we need sleep, we need community, relationships, we need rest. So if we don't choose to rest, our bodies will eventually do it for us. So let's talk about what happens when we don't rest. So whether we give ourselves rest or not, our bodies will eventually demand it. Let me walk you through what that looks like, and I'm going to give some personal examples. So fatigue, just utter fatigue. This is, I think, about 4 days ago. I woke up and I Vox my friend a lot, who's also a single mom and works a full-time job as a teacher. So exhausting. And I told her, I said, this morning I woke up and I, kind of stumbled in to start making my coffee, and I literally wanted to cry. I was so tired. I'm like, how on earth am I going to make it through? So I couldn't rest that day. I had to go to work. I don't remember if it was at the hospital or my nannying job. But the first whisper is that just bone-crushing fatigue. Next is brain fog. So my daughter recently had a baby shower. I'm going to be a grandma sometime this month, or maybe the first couple of days in June. First time grandma. My name is going to be Kiki. And I had 3 days off, but she lives in another state. So one of my daughters rode with me, and we went up to do her baby shower, to have her baby shower. So I had 3 days off, but it was wonderful. And we made great memories, and we had a great time celebrating baby Jack. But it was exhausting, and I was already exhausted. So I remember the first night I was there, because I think I had done, I don't know, an 8 or 10 day stretch with no days off, and then got up early and went up to her house, and it was time to go to bed. And I just, like, if I had a video of myself, I couldn't, like, I was out of my routine anyway, but it's like I would go into the bathroom to wash my face, and then I didn't have my face wash. And then actually, I told myself I think, and my kids, I wasn't even going to wash my face. I was so tired. And then I just couldn't do that. So, and then I didn't have anything to wash my face with. And then I went out and came back in, and I didn't have my toothbrush. And then it was just like, I couldn't, I couldn't function. So brain fog, intense. I lose words. I feel scattered. I feel, I just feel incompetent almost. It's not aging, it's depletion. The next thing that goes hand in hand for me with the brain fog is irritability. And I can tell in the mornings when I'm super tired and it's been a long stretch, I'm so irritable on the road. But it's like I'm overreacting, I'm overwhelmed, and it's not really anger. I'm not an angry person. It's like emptiness. It's like it's coming from a place of have nothing to give. I'm just irritable. So we have fatigue, brain fog, irritability. If you're feeling any of these things, your body's trying to tell you something. Muscle tension. So if you were to touch my back right now, like one of my kids says, it feels like concrete. Basically, I'm holding on to everything I haven't let go of. That's also a trauma response. But my shoulders, jaw, my back hold on to things that can be loosened a little bit if I rest. Digestive issues. I don't have this as much. I can get this like if I'm triggered about something. But I know a lot of people deal with digestive issues. Basically, you just can't process food when you're exhausted. You're in stress mode. Anxiety. Basically, anxiety isn't your enemy, it's an alarm system, right? It's your brain trying to tell your body that something is off. And it isn't random, it's a cry for safety. And when you are exhausted, you tend to have more anxiety because we're not taking care of ourselves and winding down and refueling. Headaches. I thankfully am not a headache person, but I have people in my family that are or were. And headaches are basically I'm carrying more than I should also. They're a signal to stop and rest. Take your Tylenol or whatever, drink your water because sometimes it's dehydration too. But headaches can be another sign of not getting enough rest. And then this one I've struggled with for quite a while, sleep. So, as an almost 60-year-old woman, the first thing I would say if you're around my age or a little younger, or a little older, have your hormones checked. Go to somebody that will not just check what a typical doctor does, but like your progesterone, your estrogen, all of those things. Progesterone at night is one of the things I'm on, and it helps me sleep. One thing to say about sleep is, and rest is, think about, so I park on the street at my apartment, like parallel parking. If I were to approach that parking space at 70 miles an hour, it's not going to end well, right? Not going to be pretty. So if you are trying to rest, but you're doing it from a place of, just going 100 miles an hour, go, 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 it's not going to work. When you lay down in bed, rest is not going to come because you haven't like prepared your body for it. So I saw that quote. I don't know who said it, but I'm like, when I can get visuals like that, it's like, oh yeah, I would never approach a parking space at 70 miles an hour. Why am I trying to park my body and my mind after doom scrolling or, watching something that, makes me angry? Or I have a bad habit of listening to podcasts, the political podcasts that just frustrate me to no end. So that's like trying to park at a high rate of speed. Next section. Why does rest feel so hard? So if rest is so important, why is it so hard to actually do it? For me, I think it comes down to how I was raised and the culture I live in. I grew up in a home where rest kind of didn't exist. My mom was a single mom for most of my life, and she had two speeds. There was on and going 100 miles an hour and off. And it there was no, I need to like take care of myself and get enough sleep. I know now there are reasons for her not being able to do that, but it just was kind of chaos and survival. There was no softness, no stillness. I think in a home where my parents were alcoholics, you can also kind of learn to see rest as a danger. Like, oh, you need to stay alert because who knows what's around the corner. Then you add in hustle culture that's associated with American capitalism, and we're taught that our value is what we can produce, right? Rest is a luxury for people who can afford it. But I'm learning something. Rest isn't selfish, it's resistance. Think of it as resistance. It's a way of saying, I'm not a machine, I'm a human. I don't just go nonstop without any maintenance. So the next part is how to actually rest without guilt or perfection. So, how do we actually rest when life doesn't stop? I kind of at the beginning told you what my current schedule is like, and I'm sure a lot of you have kind of the same issues. And I had someone comment on a video a while back about, wow, you're doing all that at your age. I just downsized and paid for a house. And, I don't know. I mean, kudos to them. Hey, if I could retire and just like go be a grandma and, volunteer and whatever, I would do that. I'm going to have to work till I die. So, not an option. If you're one of those that, you know, did all the right things, not all the right things, but that you're like my age and about to retire, I'm so happy for you. Truly. I am not there. Like, that's why I am changing careers to have something I can do. I can sit and do therapy even when I'm 80, right? So, my life isn't really allowing for a lot of rest. I don't take vacations. I work multiple days in a row, and I will keep this up until at least a year and a half from now when I graduate. So, here's some ideas about how to get rest and some of the things I do now that I understand how important rest is. So, in this stretch of days, try to get good sleep. So if you know you have something intense coming up, you're going to be working a lot of overtime, you have somebody coming to stay with you, whatever it is. I know when I have those 8, 10, 12, 13-day stretches, I have to get good sleep. I have to go to bed at a decent hour. I cannot be scrolling on my phone. I've done that these last two long stretches. It's made a huge difference. Committing to getting, I need like 7 hours of sleep a night. So you have to plan for it. It's not going to happen. The next thing is like micro rest moments. So I'm not a napper. I don't, first of all, have time to nap, but I can't really, I don't fall asleep easily. I wonder why. But one of the things you could do, and I can do, is just like setting a timer for 5 minutes and putting your phone down, turning everything off. Maybe this is even in your car. Right now, my car does not have air conditioning until I can afford to get it fixed. So that's not an option for me, but it might be for you. I'm in Texas where it's going to start getting hellishly hot. Um, but just breathe. You can do box breathing, like breathe in for 4, rest for 4, or hold for 4, exhale for 4, rest for 4. Makes a box 4 by 4 by 4 by 4. And you can do like a 5-minute meditation. Just you could do the 5 senses exercise, 5 things you can see, 4 things you can hear, 3 things you can smell, 2 things you can touch, 1 thing you can taste. Something to just bring you into the present and allow your brain to just kind of reset. Don't underestimate. I poo pooed this for years. It actually makes a big, big, big difference. One of the things I do too when I'm doing that is I have one of those like rice, or I don't know what it's made out of, but that I heat it up in the microwave and put that on my neck. And that heat kind of instantly like takes my body to it's time to rest. It's like a cue. Um, Here's another one. Say no. No, as my friend Kathy says, is a complete sentence. Say no without a paragraph of guilt. That's something I'm working on or explaining, but you may have to cut things out to rest, and that's okay. Take something off your plate this week. I promise the world will keep spinning. People will still love and care about you. It's okay to take time for yourself and rest. Maybe you'll stay home and read a book. Maybe you'll watch a show. I will say that one of the ways I feel like I'm resting is scrolling social media. That's not rest. That's not rest. I basically just dissociate when I'm doing that. And it feels like rest, but my soul isn't resting. My body is still, there's the sounds and the, light from the phone and all of that. That it isn't rest. We have to stop kidding ourselves. That's not rest. You may be sitting still, but you're not resting. Did you guys hear that? I think that's my dog whining to go out. Let it be good enough. It doesn't have to be perfect. B's get degrees. Done is better than perfect, and that's also a way to rest. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then lastly, we can go analog. We can unplug. We can go sit out on our stoop for 5 or 10 minutes. We can journal with a pen. We can just walk in silence. Rest is quiet, and you have to make space for it. It doesn't have to be forever. I double dog dare you to try just resting, this kind of rest, for 5 minutes, and then come back and tell me how it worked for you. So you don't need hours, you don't need perfection, you just need to listen to your body. So I'm still learning all of this. Again, I'm a guinea pig. I'm not a guru. I'm not here because I've mastered how to rest. I'm here because I've ignored it in the past and it's had some not great results. And I am trying to fix that. So if you're learning too, you're in good company. I want to hear from you. What is your relationship with rest like? What's something that you can add if you're already resting but want to add something new in, or if you're somebody that really struggles to get any rest, what's a little thing you could add in this week, maybe from the examples I've given or something that maybe I haven't thought of. Share that with me in the comment, and I want to learn from you too. So you're not lazy, you're not a machine, you need to rest. Good rest, real rest. Thanks for listening. See you next time.